to move Kenya to the next level. I say all this not as a personal badge of honor, but as a recognition of what we have achieved together, the Kenyan people, the leadership in all arms of government, and across all political formations. Honorable members, the last 3 years have not been easy. We have agreed, sometimes disagreed, and at times those disagreements have carried great cost. We have compromised, we have confronted hard truths, and we have endured storms none of us invited. But we all take comfort that it has not been for nothing, for this is how far we have come. At a time like this, in 2022, Kenya was in distress. Inflation had soared almost to double digits. A fuel shortage threatened to paralyze our economy as oil marketers struggled to access dollars. The shilling was in free fall. Foreign reserves had hit historic lows. Debt service consumed more than half of our revenues. Confidence, both local and foreign, had waned. International analysts warned that it was no longer a question of if, but when Kenya would default. Within that context, we acted. We restored fiscal discipline. We eliminated wasteful subsidies. We rationalized public expenditure. We strengthened revenue collection and placed our economy on a path of recovery and sustainability. Inflation, which stood at 9.6% in 2022, has steadily declined to 4.6% as of last month, bringing much needed relief to households. The shilling, once in perilous downward spiral, has stabilized at 129 to the dollar for nearly 2 years, a direct consequence of prudent monetary policy and disciplined fiscal management. Our successful Eurobond redemption signaled to the world that Kenya honors its obligations, one within our lifetime. That is why I speak today with full conviction that history has summoned this generation, our generation, at such a time as this, to a higher purpose. Some eras are shaped by events. Others are defined by the decisions a nation makes. And today, Kenya is called to make such a decision, to finish the journey our forebearers began, and finally turn our long-held potential into lived reality. To do this, we must cast off the prevailing mindset of being content with the average. We must step beyond the comfort of the familiar and the ordinary and reach with courage, clarity, and conviction for nothing less than excellence and greatness. Therefore, as we examine the achievements of the past 3 years, results that have laid a firm foundation for equality of opportunity and a nation where no one is left behind, today I will also place before you not just a vision, but a national project that is realistic, grounded, and entirely within our reach. A vision not just to grow, but to transform. A roadmap not merely to move forward, but to rise from developing to developed, to rise from potential to reality, to rise from promise to prosperity, to rise from the third to the first world, to rise finally into the Kenya we have long imagined, the Kenya we deserve. For long, our ambition was held hostage by small thinking and ordinary expectations. But that era must now be confined to the past. Today, we stand on the threshold of something far greater, a moment in which we can say that our parents dreamed of and what our children yearn for, we will accomplish in our lifetime. As we know, this is achievable because others have done it before. I have often spoken of the Asian tigers, South Korea, Singapore, Hong Kong, Malaysia. And by the way, members, the Prime Minister of Malaysia will be here this weekend. Countries that at independence were our peers in nearly every measurable way.
Wala watoto wake kuombaomba mikate. Tunaombea baraka watoto ya dada wetu na watoto wote ambao wameachwa na wazazi. And we will support them. We will support the church, we will support musicians, we will support artists. Na mimi nawasihi marafiki wengi artists na musicians wale wako katika creative economy. Hapa kwetu Central Region tuko na wengi, very talented, very powerful. Please come together and let us establish a big foundation or trust to provide resources to take care of the children of artists and the families of artists so that we don't have our artists dying in poverty. Na mimi kama moja wenu hapa area hii, I hope there is some leadership that we will get from the artists, from the musicians, tusaidiane. Kwa hivyo mimi sitaki kuongea kuzidi hapo, na washukuru. I will stay on the message of the day. Na mimi kama hiyo account imetengenezwa, mimi na mke wangu na familia yangu nitachangia pamoja na wale wengine shilingi milioni 5 ya kusaidia hao watoto. Vile vile na niambiwe the account number, I'll transfer the money immediately. Sio mambo ya siku mingi. I just need the account number, I'll wire the money. Vile vile wakati nilikuja hapa, nilikuwa njiani, nimepigia rais simu, amenituma pia ni wasalamie, na vile vile amesema katika hiyo trust, kwa sababu nilikuwa nimeongea na mheshimiwa wa Mombi na wale waheshimiwa wa hapa Kawanjiko, na hata tulikuwa na hiyo habari. Kwa hivyo hata rais pia amesema kwa hiyo trust fund ya family ya marehemu dada yetu atachangia kwa elimu ya watoto na shilingi milioni 5. Mungu wa baraka wabariki.